As we celebrate 200 years of pioneering care at Wesley Mission, we stand on the shoulders of those that have gone before. At this Thanksgiving service, we thank God for Rev Dr. Sir Alan Walker, an advocate for the lonely, the lost and the broken. Alan was born on the 13th of July 1911 in Annandale in Sydney. His father was a tent preacher, and at the age of 11, Alan gave his life to Christ during one of his father's crusades. He was to become the 13th person in his family line to become a minister of the gospel. And after studying ministry in London, he was ordained in 1931 and returned to Australia by ship at the age of 24.
One night I leant over the railing of that ship and made what was the most important decision after conversion of my ministry. I took the vow that I would never support war.
Those views put him out of kilter with most Protestant clergy at the time, and Alan was posted, against his will, to meet the needs of coal miners in Cessnock, north of Sydney.
From Cessnock, I learned the necessity of getting out of the church. I couldn't get the miners to come to church, so I hired an empty shop in the main street and was amazed at the number that came in that location rather than to church. And so I learned that if the church in Australia is to go to the people, it must get out of its God box called the church and go and meet them where they are. And I've tried to fulfill that insight over all the years and spent a great deal of time trying to understand how to speak apart from the setting of a pulpit.
The end of World War II allowed his superiors to rehabilitate him, resulting in a posting to Waverley, where his reputation as an evangelist began to build. He became a front person and chief evangelist in the Australia-wide Mission to the Nation program and launched a commercial television program called I Challenge the Minister in 1956.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to I Challenge the Minister.
Australia's Governor-General of the day called Alan Walker the conscience of the nation. In 1958, Alan became Wesley Mission's 7th superintendent. And for the next 20 years, he was an advocate for the most marginalised of society and joined forces with leaders of social justice, both here and abroad. From the abolition of the White Australia policy to apartheid in South Africa, to his stance against alcohol and gambling, journalists always found him ready for a quote. But it was his call for an end to Australia's participation in the Vietnam War that resulted in threats to his life.
At the mission, we certainly lost some people because of my stand against Vietnam War and so on, and some of these controversial issues. But, what you lose in the swings, you pick up on the roundabouts. I remember being very troubled by a family, a very good family at the mission, that announced one Sunday night after the service, I can't take it anymore, we're leaving. And I was distressed about this. But next morning, my secretary said, there's a little old lady wants to see you, Mr. Walker. And she came in and she said, Mr. Walker, I've just been to my solicitor. I greatly appreciate what you're doing for peace, your opposition to the Vietnam War, and I've just changed my will to leave 4 houses to the mission. So I thought God was telling me, keep going.
His presence in the media and social sphere also helped to launch a televised Easter sunrise service in 1961. Today, the service remains a powerful witness in spreading the message and love of Jesus Christ.
As we proclaim that Christ is risen.
He is risen indeed.
Alan's drive to reach out beyond the church walls also brought the innovative plan to establish well-remembered activities such as the Teenage Cabaret, better known as evangelism with a twist.
There's a rhythm, that runs deeper, perhaps, than just the beat of a band. That's the rhythm of God that runs through this world. And so, of course, we are hoping here in the Teenage Cabaret that you'll hear that sort of deep beat of the rhythm of God, and you'll start to walk by it.
Alan Walker received worldwide praise for his founding of the Lifeline telephone counselling service and its development over the last 50 years. Lifeline now boasts 11,000 volunteers and speaks to more than 500,000 people in crisis across Australia every year. A counselling service that continues to spread worldwide. Lifeline also expanded its wings to offer support to callers via the establishment of the Lifeline Rehabilitation Centre, known today as David Morgan Enterprises.
I am standing on an acre and a half of land right at the Rydalmere Railway Station. This land has come to us as a beneficent gift to meet human need in Sydney. On it we propose to build the Lifeline Rehabilitation Centre. For a cause as worthy as this one, I'm not ashamed to beg. I invite you very sincerely to send us a gift for this cause. Please help us generously and help us turn a dream into a reality.
But it was Vision Valley that Alan regarded as his greatest achievement. The 73-acre property remains a cherished pillar in our services today.
And I felt the need for introducing people to the stillness and the loveliness, the beauty of nature. And so I dreamed of a valley somewhere, or a property where they'd see the stars and where they'd hear the birds, where they'd see the loveliness of nature and meet God in nature. And so when we were able to obtain the Vision Valley property and then build it, I think was a very valuable contribution to how city people can find a larger experience of God and His creation.
Through the voice of one person and the vision and energy of thousands of staff and volunteers, Alan Walker's legacy lives on as a great work of God, offering a place of refuge and the gift of Christ-like servanthood to many.